Great. So we're going to start on this bolster. And we're taking this kind of scaled back seat. So I'm going to have you sit cross-legged and then take your feet directly underneath your knees. So we may, you're used to sitting like this. So this just helps us to get equal access into our hip bones or into our sit bones. So relax your thighs as much as you can. Allow your knees to become heavy, your sit bones become heavy. I'm actually going to grab. So if you're at home and you notice that your knees are higher than your sit bones, I'm going to ask you to take them as much for support or just for a moment. Yes. And so the goal is to get the knees the height of your hip bones or slightly lower than your hip bones. That looks better. And that just helps to release your frontal hips even more. Great. So when you're ready, you can close your eyes and begin to feel down into those sit bones. See if you can bring your awareness into your sit bones, the two bony pieces that touch the support beneath you. And notice if one feels more heavy than the other. Can you shift your weight or release your hips any amount to bring equal weight into both of those sit bones? Release the grip in your hips any amount. Allow your thighs to become heavy. And keep everything where it's at. Bring your hands together. We're going to open clasp with the sound of 3 ohms. So exhale all of your air. And take a long, smooth, complete inhalation. Place your hands down, palms face up on your thighs. Slowly raise your head with closed eyes. Feel back into those sit bones. Notice if your weight shifted at all during the chant. Notice if the gripping crept back in, and just gently release your hips, your thighs. See if you can find that equal weight in both of your sit bones. And gently flutter your eyelids open. We're going to start at the wall. So you can bring your mat to the wall. The short edge of the mat faces the wall. We're going to take a couple variations of box on the wall. And Catherine, you can actually come to this wall if you want. That way we're closer. I'm just going to, and then you can watch me first. I'll demonstrate and then I can walk everyone through that. So we've done this before. And Kathy, you can just set up your camera wherever is best for you. If I can't see all of you, that's okay. So today we're going to start with your hands at shoulder height. So you'll stand just a couple inches away from the wall and you can walk through this with me. Take your hands to shoulder height with your hands directly in front of your shoulders, shoulder width apart. Look at your hands, check that your middle fingers are parallel to one another. You have equal spacing between your fingers, and you're pressing the inner triad of your hand. So the inner triad of your hand is the base of the pointer finger, the base of the thumb, and the inner wrist right here, and it forms this triangle. So that's right here, the base of your pointer finger, the base of your thumb, and your inner wrist. So it's this triangle area here. And so before we even step back, press hard in that inner triad as if you're going to push the wall over. Keep that connection strong, and then begin to walk your feet back. Drop your head, look down at your body, look at your hips, and look at your heels. See if you can get your heels underneath your hip bones, your sit bones. So you may need to step back further. You may need to step forward. Yeah, even more. So you're trying to get your heels directly up. So even step forward. Yeah, there you go. Now press back. Yeah, allow your head to come down between your arms. Good. Right in front of your legs. So you have the tendency to think your knees, which I do too. Yes, perfect. That looks really great. Good. And so in this scaled back version of downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, we're really able to get into the spine. So downward dog is a spinal extension. So here, can you press through the inner triad of your hands, again, as if you were going to push that wall over. Reach through your armpit chest. Make both of your side bodies long and equal. And reach all the way through your hips. The fronts of your legs to help protect the back of your legs as they stretch. And now lift your sit bones up towards the seat and hang them out. Yeah. Press through your right hand a little bit more. Yes, good. Not just level. Breathe in and out through your nose and release any tension that may be sneaking into your jaw, your neck. Keep the effort in your legs. And from here, without changing the shape, can you place your awareness in your inner groins? So right where your legs meet your pelvis and your inner legs. Release your inner groins down to your inner knees, down to your inner heels, seeing if you can bring your inner heels closer to the floor faster than your outer heels. So we tend to have more length in our outer legs, and that's just our shape. It's from the activities we do. So we're trying to bring some extra length to the inner legs. And that doesn't come just from the heels and the ankles, but it comes from all the way up in the inner groins, down the inner legs. Good. Take one more deep inhalation. And on your exhale, step forward towards the wall. Bring your arms down by your side and stand facing the wall for Tadasana. Your feet can be hip distance apart. So if you look down, you can place your hands on your frontal hip bones. And this is hip distance apart, not your outer thighs or outer hips, but right in front. So you may step your feet together. Lift all 10 of your toes. Good, and press the four corners of your feet. So the mound of your big toe, the mound of your pinky toe, your inner and outer heels. Press all of those four places evenly. And to get even weight, you may actually need to press more in a certain place in your foot. So lift your toes even more. Yeah, keep them lifted. Good, and that helps to keep this arch lifted in your foot. Yeah, That was really good. And I would say keep your toes lifted for today. Good. Release your shoulders down your back. Fingertips come towards the floor. And memorize the sensation you feel in your feet. So we are balancing the weight in your feet. We want to keep that balance in the same way in your feet during the next pose. We're going to take box on the wall again a little bit longer. So now take your fingers to the wall so that your hands are waist height. So right where the small of your waist is, where your belly button is. You're going to bring your hands to the wall. You won't be able to bring your whole hand to the wall yet. You will walk back. Look down at your hands. Check that your middle fingers are parallel to one another. There's equal distance between your fingers. Your hands are shoulder apart. And then begin to step back into the pose. Again, drop your head to look at your hips. See if you can bring your hips directly over your heels. And now that your whole hands are on the wall, you can look up and take a look at your hands. Just notice if they shifted at all. Make sure that your middle fingers are parallel to one another. Forward again. Yeah. Good. Keep that. Step your heels back, maybe half an inch. Yeah. Good. Lift all 10 of your toes. Yes. Everybody, lift all 10 of your toes again. Find that equal weight in the four corners of your feet. Activate the fronts of your legs as you stretch your back legs, the back of your legs. Lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Yes. Press through the inner triad of your hand as if you're going to push over that wall. And reach from your hand all the way to your sit bones. Reach through your armpit chest. Good. Press more in your right hand. Yeah, good. So sometimes we have to work unevenly to bring evenness to the body. Good. Now push your left hand just a little bit. Yeah, good. Breathe in and out through your nose. I'm actually going to have you take that half inch step forward again. That's better. And now press through. Yeah. Breathe in and out through your nose. Keep the effort in your legs. You okay, Kathy? Oh, you're on mute.
I lost you for a second, but you're back.
Oh, okay, good. Keep your ears in line with your arms and release any tension or gripping you may be feeling in your neck. Good. As we stay, can you release your effort any amount without losing the shape of the pose? So instead of having the hardest grip in your legs, can you release your effort just a little? Keeping the front of your legs efforting. Good. Lift all 10 of your toes again. Yeah. Yes. Good. Yeah. Even a little bit less. Straighten your legs. Yeah. It's okay if I give you an adjustment. Press through your right hand. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale, step forward to come out. Stand in Tadasana again, facing the wall. Lift all 10 of your toes. Feel down into the four corners of your feet. Allow your shoulders to fall down your back. Connect back with your breath. Good. Now we're going to take downward dog on the floor. So you can leave your mat where it is, or you can move away from the wall, whatever's more convenient for you. We're going to start on all fours. So bring your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Step your knees back an inch or two behind you so that they're a little bit further behind your sit bones. Taking a little bit of a wider dog today. And then we're going to start with setting our foundation. So looking, we're going to set them up the same way we did on the wall. Check that your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Your wrist creases are parallel with the short edge of your mat. Middle fingers are parallel to one another, and there's equal spacing between your fingers. So be really diligent in your hands. Press the inner triad here, which makes your outer wrist light. The outer wrist doesn't come off of the mat, it's just lighter. More of the pressure is on that inner triad. Flip your toes under. Inhale, look up, lift your sit bones, drop your belly. And exhale, keep your head lifted as you press back. Keep your head lifted, keep your head lifted. Straighten your legs, and then your head is the last thing to drop. Press again through the inner triads of your hands. And now bend both knees, take them wider than your feet, and press through your arms again. So this helps to bring more length, more extension to the spine. Keep your knees bent. And again, press through your arms, reach through your armpit chest. Good. Lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Pull your low ribs in. When we lift the sit bones, the ribs like to dump down like this. So pull your low ribs in. Keep your sit bones lifted and slowly straighten your legs. Good. And the heels may come close to the floor. However, the goal today is not necessarily to get them to land on the floor. Today, we're focusing more on that extension of your spine. Yeah. Oh. Good. Press the inner triads of your hand more. Reach through your armpit chest, take your hips back any amount. Again, bend your knees so that your knees are at the height of your ankles. So bend your knees a lot. Yeah, even more. Yeah. And this helps us get into that extension. So with your knees bent, press through your arms again. Take your sit bones back. Yeah, and then slowly straighten your legs. Your right ribs in more than your left. Yeah, and now stretch again. Place your mind in your inner groins and release your inner groins down to your inner knees, down to your inner heels. See if you can bring your inner heels to the mat faster than your outer heels. So it doesn't mean that your heels will touch the mat, but see if you can, your eyes are looking directly at your feet. Look at your feet, look at your ankles. And see if you can smooth out the wrinkles between your inner ankles and your inner heels. Do that by releasing your inner groin down your legs. Good. Lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling, any amount. Take one more deep inhalation. And then exhale, bend your knees. Come down into pose of the child. Take your knees wide so that your outer ribs are caught by your inner legs. The tops of your shoulders rest on the tops of your knees. Arms come down by your side, palms face up. So having that little extra space allows your belly to release down and still gives support on your rib cage for your torso. And let your effort go. Allow your shoulders to fall down on either side of your knees. Allow your arms to be supported by the floor. Your torso is supported by your legs. And the weight of your head is pressing where your forehead meets your hairline. Just allow your head to become heavy without pushing it down into the floor. Let go of all of your effort from class so far today. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself up. Grab a chair. It could be any chair. If you're at home, it could be a folding chair, it could be a dining room chair. And open up your chair so that the chair seat faces you. And place it on the far end of your mat. Good. We're going to take Parso Tanasana. So to start, you're going to bring your right big toe in line with the two front legs of the chair and step your back foot back about 3.5 feet. Look down at your feet and your heels are on either side of an imaginary line. So if I were to pull a rope or a string, your right foot would be on the right side of that rope, your left foot would be on the left side. Left toes turn out slightly, so they're not facing forward. Good. Turn your left toes out even a little bit more. Yeah, awesome. Good. And from here, before we do anything, just feel into your two side bodies. Notice if one feels shorter than the other. Parso Tanasana translates into intense equal side stretch. So we're trying to bring length into both sides of the body. So to do that, we're going to start with our foundation. So press the mound of the big toe of your front foot and see if you can get the weight in the center of your heel. Grip the front of your right leg completely. And if you look at your kneecap, you'll see it engage as you engage your top thigh, your top leg. And press again through the mound of your big toe to take your right hip back. So the front leg is as straight as you can make it without hyperextending. So you can straighten your front leg even more. Yeah, a little bit more. A little bit more. There. And then really up. Yeah. Good. And so the tendency on this side with the right foot forward is for the right side body to feel shorter than the left. So again, press through the mound of the big toe to take the right hip back. And now place your awareness in your outer left heel. So the outer heel of your back foot. Yeah, and press there to take your left hip forward. So we're using our feet. You're not just shifting your pelvis in space. You're using your feet to move your pelvis. Right hip moves back. Straighten this leg just a little bit. Yeah, grip. Yeah. Take this hip. Yeah. Good. And now keep your legs exactly where they are. Lift your chest any amount through your arms. Good, Kathy. Yeah. And your gaze can come to the chair seat. I'm just going to slide this. So Parso Tanasana traditionally is a forward bend. And we're taking it today on the chair so that we can really get into our legs, which is therapeutic for the pelvis and the low back. Good. We're here again. Yep. Press through that front foot again to take that right hip back. And as we stay, can you place your awareness, place your mind again into your two side bodies? Can you bring equal length to both your right and your left side? Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Notice if you're efforting in your neck or your jaw. Keep that effort in your legs. Step back in. Even a little bit more. Bring your toes up here. Yeah. Here. Good. Take one more deep inhalation. And then exhale, switch sides. Take your left foot forward and take your right foot back. Yeah. So you can step that back foot forward. Yeah. Yes, that looks better. And again, once you've landed, before you do anything, just notice, place your awareness in your pelvis, place your awareness in your side bodies. Notice if one side body feels more constricted than the other. Notice if your pelvis feels tilted. And then begin to straighten your pelvis and levelize your pelvis by pressing the mound of your big toe on your front foot. Lift your toes of your front foot. Press the mound of your big toe, get the weight in the center of your heel. Grip your front leg, straighten it as much as possible. If you know you have a tendency to hyperextend, keep that micro bend to keep your legs straight. And then press through that mound of your big toe again to take your left hip back. Good. You can straighten your front leg a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, even a teeny tiny bit more. Good. And now grip that knee up your leg. Yeah, good. Place your mind in your back outer heel, the outer heel of your right foot. Press your outer right foot and press it all the way up your leg to take your right hip forward. So left hip goes back, right hip goes forward. Drop this. Yeah. Lift your chest through your arms. So when we lift the chest through the arms, the tendency is for that to come from the middle back. So can you pull your low ribs in to help protect the low back, and lift from your chest. Good. Yes, good. And breathe. Keep the effort in your legs. And this is a strong pose, especially if we're not used to staying a long time, or we're not used to focusing on the small details of the pose. So can you release your effort any amount without losing the integrity of your pose or the shape of your pose? Can you find just a moment of ease in the dis-ease you may be feeling, or a moment of comfort in the discomfort? Drop the other. Yeah, good. Drop this one. Chest. Good. Take one more deep inhalation. And then exhale, step your back foot forward. Stand in Tadasana with your feet hip distance apart. Feel down into the four corners of your feet. Grip the front of your legs slightly. Extend through the crown of your head and allow your shoulders to release down your back. Good. We're going to take back bend in the chair. So if you have a folding chair at home, you're going to use this. Kathy, do you have a folding chair? Or do you have a dining room chair? Oh, you're on mute.
I think I do.
Okay.
I can't remember. I'll go look.
Okay, go look real quick.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. If you don't have a dining room or a folding chair, you're just going to take a bolster or a couple stacks of blankets on your mat. You're going to sit down in front of this. Lie down so that your shoulders are in the middle of the bolster. Pick up your hips and drag yourself over. Allow your sit bones to come down to the floor. Your shoulders won't touch the floor, and that's fine. You'll straighten your legs in front of you, and you can bring your arms out into T. You can cross them over your belly, or you can bring them overhead. If this is too much for your shoulders, you can also rest your hands on a bolster or some support here, and you'll stay here. If you do have a folding chair at home or a yoga chair, you're going to take your chair and you can follow along. You're going to fold your mat in half and in half again. And bring this onto the chair seat. This is just going to help you hold you in place. And the edge of the mat is going to be in line with the edge of the chair seat. You're going to come to the wall. You'll turn this around so the chair seat faces away from you or away from the wall towards you. Grab your bolster and place your bolster against the wall. And then you can watch me get in and get out because there is a little some tricks to it. So to get in, you're just going to simply step through. Slide yourself all the way to the edge of the chair. So just your sit bones are on the edge. Your hamstrings and your legs are completely off. Hold on to the back bar, lift your chest, arc your back, lay back on the chair seat. The goal is to catch the tips of your shoulder blades on the edge of the chair seat. So you may need to wiggle towards your feet more or towards your head, just depending on the length of your torso. When you found that spot, you'll hold on to chair. Take your toes up the wall and then straighten your legs. So slide on the floor. Heels come towards the wall. It's okay if they don't make it all the way to the wall today. Grip your buttocks from the outside out. Grip your upper back where you feel the chair. And you can pull gently down on the triangles of the chair. And we'll stay here. To come out, you'll bend your knees, seat your feet flat on the floor. Slide yourself closer to your head and then watch my head as I come up. I'm going to press my elbows into the chair seat. My chest comes up first, head comes back, and my head comes up all the way last. Slide back on the chair and rest. So, step to the chair and then slide all the way to the edge of the chair. So your sit bones are on. Yep. Legs are totally off. Arc your back and then lay back. Good. Yes. And you should feel the very tips of your shoulder blades on the edge of the chair. Slide your hands down to the triangles of the chair. So you can slide down a little bit more. Let your head go back. Take your feet up onto that bolster, toes go up the wall, heels come towards the wall, and then straighten your legs, slide yourself back. Awesome. That looks really good. Grip your buttocks from the outside in, and grip your upper back where you feel that edge of the chair seat. Kathy, and anyone else who is on the bolster, stay where you're at. Grip the muscles in your back. So the muscles that go along either side of your spine, grip that as if you were going to grip your torso and pick your torso up off that bolster. You're not actually going to pick yourself up off that bolster, but that's the intention or the action, the direction of that energy is to grip your back around the bolster as if you're going to come up. Yeah, so you're staying down. Allow yourself to release, Kathy, like release everything. Yeah, and so you're gripping your muscles as if you were going to pick your torso up, but your torso actually doesn't come off that support. You're just gripping the muscles around that support to teach those muscles that go along either side of your spine to activate. And this helps to strengthen our spine and lengthen our spine. Good, that looks really good. If you're in the chair, you can pull down slightly where your hands are on the triangles of the chair, just to help lift your chest a little more. Just to help protect the back of your knees. Good. Actually. And as we stay, you may find that the muscles in your back release their grip, which is normal. So when you notice that, just grip your buttocks from the outside in again slightly. Grip your upper back muscles where it touches the edge of the chair seat. And you may find as we stay that you feel a gripping or pressure in your low back. Just know that that is normal. Dvipada Viparita Tadasana is the name of this pose, the Sanskrit name of this pose, which means two-footed inverted staff pose. And traditionally, this is done in the middle of the room without any support. So the head and the feet are on the floor and everything else is lifted. So when we use the support of the bolster or the chair, it helps to teach our body the shape of the pose and to teach which muscles to activate. And when we use the support of the chair, we can also stay for much longer. This back bend in the chair is very therapeutic. So the longer we can stay, the more benefits we'll receive. And if at any point, if you're over that bolster, if it becomes too much, you can just release your efforts and allow to be held by that bolster. You can also roll over to your right side, coming all the way off of that bolster, and just push the bolster out of the way and lay with a flat back in Shavasana. Stay for just a few more moments. And if you're on the floor over a bolster or folded blankets, you can go ahead and bend your knees, roll over onto your right, coming all the way off of that support, and then push your support out of the way, lie back on your back. If you're in the chair, take your feet flat on the floor, slide yourself closer to your head so that your butt comes more on the chair seat. And then press your elbows into the chair seat. So you can lift your arms up and bring your elbows. Yeah. Press into your elbows, lift your chest, lift your chest. Good. Sit back into the chair. And just allow yourself to release there. So you can bring your forearms to the chair seat. Turn around so you can see me. And just release here. The low back likes to hold the back bend. So just allow your low back to release gently down towards the chair seat. And avoid the temptation to fold forward. We're going to take a twist to help release the low back. So step your feet wide so that your inner heels touch the outer edges of the chair. Your toes face forward. You can slide back in the chair so that your buttocks is closer to the back edge of the chair. Take your left forearm across the back bar. Take your right hand behind you. Grab the chair seat right behind your sacrum. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, twist to the right. Bend your right elbow away from your body. Pull gently with your left hand to twist more. Every inhalation, extend up through the crown of your head. Every exhalation, twist. Allow your belly to become soft. Lift your chest up towards your chin and allow your shoulders to release down your back. Take one more inhalation and then exhale, unwind, face forward again. Take your right forearm across the back bar. Take your left hand or whatever hand behind you. Good. Inhale, extend up through the crown of your head, and exhale, twist. Gently pull with your right hand or whatever hand is on the back bar. Every inhalation, extend up through the crown of your head. Every exhalation, twist. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale, unwind to come out. Step out of your chair. If you're on the floor, you can roll to your right side and press yourself all the way up. Carefully step out of the chair. And then unfold your mat. Bring your mat back down towards on the floor. And if you have two bolsters, you're going to on your mat. If you have one bolster, you'll just take one bolster vertically on the mat and grab your strap. So if you have, I'm going to show with 2 bolsters first, and then I'll show it with 1 if you only have 1. Make sure that this side doesn't have the little tassels on it because that'll get in the way. And I like to have a lot of space on this side of my mat for my head and my shoulders so that I'm not on the hard floor or on the crease of the floor. And then grab that strap. Make a loop in your strap. This is going to go around your ankles, so it doesn't need to be super big. You're going to take the end of your strap through both D-rings and then over that first one and under the second. And then you can watch me first and then I'll walk you through because there is a couple tricks to getting into this pose. So when you're ready, you'll sit right in between the middle of your bolsters. This strap is going to come around your ankles and it's just going to hold your ankles up on the bolster. You're going to lay down all the way on this bolster so that your head and your neck are fully supported. So, and I'm actually going to bring you a different bolster because I forgot that these are really squishy. So I'm going to give you one of those ones. So to get into the pose, you're going to hold onto the bolster underneath you, pick up your hips, and slide yourself off the bolster toward your head. And the trick is to not pick up your shoulders or your upper torso off of this support. So we want to drag your body over until the top reach. You're going to push one more big push. You get that solid seal. Arms come down by your side, legs straighten in front of you, and you can allow the strap to hold you here. And to come out, you'll simply bend your knees to take your feet out, roll over onto your right side, and come all the way up. So this bolster is just firmer, so it's a little better. And if you only have one bolster at home, you won't need your strap or the second bolster. You'll just have one bolster or whatever cushion you have, and you'll sit on the far end, lay yourself all the way back. And then when you lay back, you'll just straighten your legs and let your legs roll out. Good. Yeah, so hold on to that. Lift your pelvis up and then push and drag yourself towards. Yeah. And you can slide your feet closer to your buttocks to help push more all the way until your shoulders, the tops of your shoulders hit the mat. So do one more push. Yeah, and then even one more. Keep going. Sorry, my hand's really cold. Good. Yeah. And then let your shoulders release down. Release your arms down by your side. Your palms can face up. And then straighten your legs in front of you. Good. That strap, hold your feet. And release. Good. So whatever version you're on in Setu Bandha, whether it's on one bolster, 2 bolsters, or a cushion of some sort, begin to relax your body completely. So Setu Bandha Sarvasana is normally a very active pose. But with the supports of the bolsters, it allows us to relax into the pose and stay longer so we can receive more of those therapeutic benefits. Good. And Kathy, I don't know if you saw me get into the pose because you disappeared for a moment there. So if you want to look to get in, I'm lying all the way down on the bolster or whatever support you have, and then I hold onto the bolster. I pick up my pelvis and drag myself all the way off the bolster so that my shoulders are on the mat. My torso is supported. My head's on the floor. And then I just straighten my legs and let them roll out. Good. Yeah, that looks better. And even in the supported variation, you may feel sensation or that pressure in your low back. If you feel that, you can grip your buttocks from the outside in again to help relieve some of that sensation. And if at any time it becomes too intense, you can always bend your knees and take your feet flat on the floor and just allow your knees to fall into one another. If you can stand the sensation in your low back, I encourage you to stay for as long as you can. As we open up the front body in this pose, like we did in the back bend in the chair, the tightness that is in our front body lands in our low back. So if you feel sensation in your low back, it doesn't necessarily mean that that pain or sensation is coming from your low back. That's just where it's landing as we open the front body. Begin to scan your body for any effort or tension that you can release. No effort is required in this pose, in this variation. Your legs, your belly, your torso are completely supported by the bolster. Allow them to become heavy. Allow your legs to roll out into that strap or roll out on the floor. Release your belly. Allow it to rise on the inhale and lower on the exhale. Allow your shoulders to fall into the support of the floor. If you're pressing your head down into the floor, and gently release your neck. The back of your neck, the sides of your neck, the front of your neck, and your inner neck, your throat. And allow yourself to let go everywhere and release completely. And it is 1 o'clock right now. If you need to go, actually everyone, we're going to move into Shavasana. If you need to go, you can simply come out. If you can stay, I'll hold you in Shavasana for just a couple minutes. So everyone bend your knees, take your feet out of that loop. Roll over onto your right side, being careful that you're up on that support. Reach behind you and push one of the bolsters out of the way. Grab one bolster and place it horizontally on your mat underneath your knees. Good. And press your feet for a moment, lift your pelvis and tuck your tailbone under, just bringing some length to your low back. And then straighten your legs, your heels touch the floor, knees are bent on that bolster. And release. Again, notice any tension or gripping effort that you can let go of and let loose completely, let go everywhere. Slowly bring your awareness back to your body, present moment. Bend both knees, take your feet to the floor or on that bolster, roll over onto your right side. And continue rolling. Make your head heavy as you bring it fast. Find a simple cross-legged seat. And we'll close class with the sound of Om. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Exhale all of your air and take a slow, smooth, complete inhalation. Ah. Namaskar. Thank you for coming today. Kathy, it was good to see you.
I think I just was having connection problems.
Yeah, I know we lost you a couple times, but we got you back. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
Yeah, thank you.
you too.